have to get back
Don't
to
do it to
Paris.
me. I beg you. No.
Nothing. You have nothing to do with this decision.
What's good, YouTube? Men of Steel here. Dragonite has been and will continue to be a fan favorite among the Pokemon community, and due to its popularity, it's seen high play rates in both casual and competitive settings. But despite this popularity, it hasn't really seen any consistent success in the meta, nor is it highly talked about, or nobody actually considers it a threat. But that makes it the perfect candidate for my 4-card formula that I truly believe can make any strategy relevant in Pokemon Pocket. If you're interested in a video where I go into detail into this 4-card formula, I'll link it down below. But otherwise, let's go straight into the deck profile. Full transparency, I want to start off by saying that I was able to pilot this deck to a 70% win rate. But when I say that this deck is 5 stars in luck, I am not exaggerating, as I felt if I was a little bit luckier, I would be sitting in front of you with an undefeated list. But I'm also very conscious that had I low rolled a little bit in a few games, I could have easily been sitting here with a list that went 5-5 or worse. With that said, that's what comes with playing Dragonite, regardless of what you put next to it. So let's just go right into the main card, Dragonite. A stage 2 dragon Pokemon with 160 HP and the very unique attack Draco Meteor. This attack randomly chooses an opponent's Pokemon 4 times, then deals 50 damage per time chosen. Thus, the only guarantee is that you will be dealing 200 damage. As to who and how much is in God's hands. And as if this attack wasn't random enough, you are also at the mercy of the Energy Wheel, as this attack requires water and lightning energy. I know I might not sound like Dragonite's biggest fan right now, but believe me, this card's a menace. And when you build it up, every deck is at the mercy of your luck. And when you build a deck so highly based on chance, the best thing to do is surround it with the most reliable duo in the game, Druddigon and Tauros. As Druddigon's Ruskin is the most consistent way to buy you time, and Tauros' fighting tackle, being colorless, allows you to build up a secondary attacker to the Dragonite, regardless of what energy your deck is producing. As mentioned in the intro, I go far more into detail as to why these cards are so good alongside Geo and Leaf, but I truly believe the gameplay in this video will speak for itself. And to round off the list, I play Potion and Blue as added resilience, as once this deck is able to build up Dragonite, the result is no longer in our hands. With that said, I hope you enjoy the gameplay, and feel free to comment down below what your favorite Dragon type Pokemon is. Also, please consider liking and subscribing, and above all else, stay pro. Alright, we get to go first. Which is not necessarily ideal, but it's not the worst either. It's a little bad when we start the team. Ideally, we'd have Druddigon in the front, but this deck, whether it does well or not, is gonna be like a big, what's the word? I don't know. There's a bigger hierarchy story or video I want to make, and this is like the realistically they can't attack this turn, so we don't need to use Leaf already. Alright, in this matchup we might want to build up Tauros, mainly because it depends honestly. We definitely want to see like I don't even know. Druddigon would be nice, because we'll probably go Evolve, use Leaf, get him out of there. We'll hold Research for the turn after that. They use Research, so no Misty. There's the Druddigon. Okay, so now I feel a lot better about the play. Full art Research when. My theory is that they're gonna print, like, let's say if they go into Johto, is it Birch I think the name is? They're gonna print like the next professor in a core set, so that way we could get a full art one. Pass. Now it's literally holding down the fort until we could get into Dragonite with 4 energy, and unfortunately I don't know if it'll be enough to, well, it'll definitely be enough if you can't evolve Magikarp, but we're still a ways away. Yeah, I think this is like a really bad matchup because of how much HP all these Pokemon have. like best case scenario, we would have built up Tauros to knock out Articuno, but then what? I guess we could pivot though. Does the blue help at all? Not really. I guess if I wanted to do the Tauros play, I should have done it off rip. I would have never put an energy here. Let's see, what's the math here? We go 1 energy on Tauros, Drotagon gets knocked out. I feel like we definitely put another Drotagon. Or maybe, oh well, I already placed him. I could have held him for next turn. 1 energy on Tauros, 2 energy on Tauros, and then Gyarados just bodies us. Because Vaporeon is going to be able to swap around energy anyways. Let's just commit to the Dragonite. We still need to see it. So 1 and 4. There's worse odds that we've beaten, so let's see. Next turn he could already, well, he can't swap without Leaf, right? But if he has Leaf, he could start swinging with Gyarados next turn. Yeah, Tauros isn't gonna be. Our Tauros would have been ready to knock him out, and the whole game would have changed. So I guess we could keep that in the back of our mind as like a, I guess not a learning experience, but because look here, I still got one more turn to see the Dragonite. So I think blue works here just in case they have Geo or something. It forces them to do the Gyarados play. Putting down Tauros doesn't make a difference. Yeah, in hindsight, we probably would have done Tauros instead of charging up Dragonair, but to what extent? It would force him to switch into Gyarados, I guess. I don't really know. He is risking a lot by, like, if he swings the Articuno. Yeah, it's quite the risk there. Like, we could really punish him if we draw the Dragonite here. Alright, if we were ever gonna win, it's now. If we knock out this Articuno, he loses so much energy that I think the game's ours. Let's see. Literally no control over where this hits, and Articuno survived. That's rough. And now we're a Geo. We lose to a Geo. But he researched. Okay, so we don't lose this turn, and our Meteor's able to literally do anything next turn. So we actually might get this one. We literally just need one damage on the Articuno, and then 1 hit on this Vaporeon, or 2 hits on here. Yeah, I can see why they kept it. Like, nothing changes based on what they do. Nothing changes based on what we do. I guess technically, I have a reason to build up this. Granted, I should have built up this Tauros, because if this doesn't knock out, they only have 1 point, right? But this should win us the game. Articuno and the Vaporeon on the back. Let's go. Completely missed Articuno. There's no way. It just needed to hit it once, man. Okay. Honestly, like, no words. Alright, we go second against Fighting. Well, we don't have a choice on who we put in the front, but what I was gonna say is that if they had him only, we would have. Okay. This is tough. Because I'm like, to play around him only, we would leave Dratini in the front. But when they got him only and Farfetch, what am I to do? Like, clearly we put Dratini to the back, because it takes 3 him only hits to knock out Dratini, but damn. Yeah, there's Tauros, which is also horrendous in this matchup. Drotagon, another Dratini. What we're gonna have to give him Tauros. At least he doesn't have weakness to the Farfetch, so that's like buys us some time. And we start building this up. We do have everything in hand, so luckily we'll be able to evolve before the him only punishes us. But there he is. Does he have the XP? The good thing about this list, though, by list I mean like Dragonite in general, in this matchup, despite the him only, is that once we start the Draco Meteors, everything on their side is like in danger. Which not all decks could say that. Like, we pressured literally everything all at once. Would have preferred this earlier, but I guess if this like stops them from using like Sabrina, I guess. And luckily we have the math perfectly so that once this Tauros goes down, we're live. I almost want to hold Dragonite, so he doesn't like play around it. Like I need that Tauros gone. Yeah, let's hold Dragonite. If we get red carded, like, so be it. The fact that I didn't go into Dragonite kind of like shows, oh, I might not have it. So he might not take that risk. We'll see. He set up Marshadow already, which doesn't, again, if Dragonite hits how it's supposed to, it doesn't matter what he has in front. Alright, the moment of truth. Draco Meteor. We could even say we top decked it. Alright. Is there a reason to blue? Marshadow hits for 100, leaves us at 60. I guess we could blue because like that way if we draw another supporter next turn we could hold on to it. Regardless if this goes well, it doesn't matter what if we blew it or not, you see? That's insane. But what I wanted to say, against fighting, everything they have, like outside of Aerodactyl, if they're playing it, is in danger the second you hit that button. He is holding a lot of cards in hand. I think it's at 9. The waiting for opponents covering up the number 8. Yeah, he's at 8. These Farfetches are not gonna save him. Because there's no way to split 200 among these two that won't get the knockout, so GG's. The early game against this deck is scary because of how aggressive they are, but if they're not able to shut you down, Dragonite doesn't care for them much. Let's see, is he going to take him out? We're going to get 4 points? No, 200 just on this poor Farfetch. Alright, GG's. We needed that on the Gyarados, so whatever. Going second against Dark. And our hand didn't give us much of an option here. Ideally, we get Dratini out of there. So hopefully this Pokeball gets us a Druddigon, even though Poison kind of gets around the whole Druddigon situation, but... Let's see, I guess if we get a second Dratini, we let this first Dratini just go. But there's the Druddigon. And I think it matters that we get to do this as early as possible, so I'm gonna leave early. This could completely backfire if he has Sabrina, but we don't have much of an option. Okay, this guy, he got the Venipede ready. In his position, I would start building up Venipede, and I would just poison him with Weezing if he has it. Okay, I was about to say, that's if he doesn't have Sabrina, because then you clearly just Sabrina, right? Does he also have the Weezing? Okay, that's best case scenario. We can't even attack back, but we do have the the proper energy coming out soon, so. If he has a second Sabrina, I think I don't mind if he uses it now, if I'm being honest. Okay, him not seeing Weezing is huge, and that second, the second leaf is huge as well. I'm gonna opt for not evolving, because if he were to Sabrina out, we could back out for just one energy. Okay, he's on Tauros, which in this matchup doesn't affect us at all. We have 0 EXs. There's Research, which we will use. And if we see a Dragon, we no longer fear... I guess Tauros is the same situation. We don't fear the Sabrina no more, so we could evolve here. And then starting next turn, we just... Draco Meteor. Let's go. There's a Pokeball. Just another target for our Meteors. Him building up that Tauros, well, I guess it's like the only other thing you would build up, right, in this deck. Let's go Leaf. And let's see where this goes. It could end right now. Could it have ended right now? Actually, no, I don't think so. There was no math that ended the game right there, actually. But again, they haven't seen Whirlipede yet, so there's no way for them to deal the damage necessary to knock us out. There's Whirlipede, so now the clock is on. Unless they don't have, yeah, and the Weezing. So we really gotta get the knockout here. Okay, that I don't. It's really hard to like decide like how do you play against Dragonite, because the coughing there, like yes. Hold up, let me calculate. I guess the Giovanni definitely is worth it, and I guess building up something that can attack in the back is worth it. The potion doesn't matter because we would go down to we go to 120, get down to 110, and the way we knock out is get knocked out, it deals 120, so the math is not there. Like this coughing just adds yet another card that I can knock out for the victory, right? Let's see how it spreads out. Man, at the end of the day, they got lucky, man. A million and one ways where we could have won that and just it didn't work. Not the biggest fan of the deck, but because now he goes there, he Kogas, and we got nothing going for us in terms of like a way to apply pressure. Like, yeah, he's only getting 1 point here, but it would have been nice if the energy that we put on Tauros was meant for a Dratini. Does blue buy us anytime at all? I don't believe so. Scolipede would go down to 70, then go down to 50. So building up Tauros doesn't matter either. What does matter is that we could win with Dragonair's 80 damage based on like how he plays it, right? Like if he swings here, he gets in range for Dragonair. So he just might not. He might switch into the Weezing instead. Oh no, he did swing. Okay. So there is a line. There's a line that we could take that wins us the game. We just gotta hope. Actually, it would require Dragon going down. If it were Weezing to do the swing, it's not enough. If it keeps the Scolipede on, okay, so let's make it where he has to Scolipede, I guess. In terms like, and by mean he has to Scolipede is like to get the knockout. Okay, how many cards do you have left? I feel like, yeah, just one. Escolopi could be a problem. I think this Dragon bought us just enough time, which proves something like what I'm here to prove is the fact that like it shouldn't like this isn't a Dragonite deck. This is a Tauros and Dragon deck that's playing Dragonite as like I don't know. Alright, so mathematically he only does 20, puts us to 30. We go down to 20. Okay, yeah. What we need is Dragon to survive, like to turn back at him. So the blue was huge there. Because if not, he would have knocked out. He would have like been knocked out on the turn, like on the once we return the game back to him. Now here, we get our Dragonite out regardless. Whether he passes turn, whether he's attacking, regardless of how he plays it out, our Dragonite goes out on our turn, like for us to attack and not in front of him where he could have like dealt damage or something. But again, this is the power of Dragon in this deck. The power of Tauros is if he wasn't on EX deck, we would have built that up instead of the second Dragonite, and that would have gotten us the win. Like this pair is like really, really strong, and we're forced to go the Dragonite route because we don't have another Geo, so we just need 100 damage anywhere here. Is there a way where so there's no way this splits where we don't win. So it took a lot longer than I wanted it to, but we got it. GG's. Damn, we played. I don't even know how many turns that was. I wasn't paying attention to the counter. We get to go first against water. We did start the Teeny, and it could technically be a mirror match again. Like, but I'm expecting Gyarados or 18 trainer. Let's see, can we get a Dragon? We can. The only way he could swing here is if he missed these. I think it's worth like not risking it. And if he Sabrina's, then it is what it is. Can't play around everything. Which is something y'all should keep in mind. Like, don't feel bad like, oh, I did this and I misplayed. Like, sometimes reflect on, was it a misplay? Or did you choose one and they got the other? Like, right now I decided to play around Misty. If they have the Sabrina and I get punished because I leaped early, then it is what it is. But see, I played around this. Now let's say this gets 2 heads or something, we would auto lost. We might still auto lose if it got like got too many heads, but it's just like what I perceived as the best play. And you see now we got the opposite of punished. Thanks to the way we played it, we're able to do this. And now Sabrina doesn't punish us. And next turn he hits her 40, goes down to 60. We're able to use blue and potion to survive the following turn outside of a Geo, of course. What we really need to see is a water energy in the next, next turn's guaranteed electric or lightning. What do you guys call it? Do you guys call it lightning energy? That sounds correct. Yeah. Okay, so it is a Gyarados deck on double Articuno. There's another Misty. Just keep being tails. Come on. Luck on our side. Ouch. Okay, that's. I would say best case scenario, but he got his Blizzard out, which is all he cared for. Yeah, that's rough. Blue does make it where we take 0 damage on our bench. We need a water energy after this one. Let's go Tauros here, and we'll blue to protect our bench from this guy. We really need to see that the next energy is water, and we also really need to see Dragonite. Otherwise, we're just doing nothing. Okay, go. He's not seeing Gyarados at all, and his like completely ignoring its existence. Let's send out Dragonite. We really need that water type energy. Okay, research could help us with Dragonite, and there's the water. Okay, perfect. Come on. If I had to guess, I choose exactly 2 cards, Dragonite and Leaf. In whatever order. Okay, whatever. Pokeball will thin out the deck. And we'll keep it in hand because we don't want to get burnt with too many of those. We would actually prefer if he goes like Geo and knocks out this Dragonite. To see Leaf is very unlikely. And he's not using Geo, so that's another thing. You gotta assume he sees Gyarados by now. So he's on the EV. Ooh, that's rough. That's rough for us. Unless we see Leaf start being aggressive. No, Gyarados is huge. Like a Leaf could like be game changing. Like might win us the game type of game changing. We're okay with that. This Articuno, that number doesn't help us at all because we still need 2. Okay, so unfortunately, nothing here. That Giovanni probably doesn't do anything for us. And we have a water coming next turn. So we could either start setting up Tauros or this Dratini. The chances we fuel up a complete other Dragonite is very, very slim, especially with this one about to go down. So let's start building up Tauros. And I think I'm forced to potion here, because if he has Sabrina, actually if he has Sabrina, he can't out both of them. So we could hold on to potion. Like if he's Sabrina's, we give him out, we send out Tauros. Alright, this Vaporeon allows him to start switching his energy around, but again, Dragonite doesn't care for that. Dragonite just bombs the board and doesn't care who's in the front, who's in the back, who's getting protected, who's not. The fact that he hasn't evolved this is crazy, especially when next turn we guarantee have Dragonite out. 8 cards left in deck, I'm guessing both Gyarados are among those. He's only used 1 researched and 2 Misties. No Pokeballs to thin out the deck. And he still has 1 more research. So you have to assume his 8 cards is like double Gyarados. We know half of what is left in his deck. Alright, moment of truth really. If this Magikarp doesn't go down though, he could just go Gyarados and like fuel it up. So let's see what happens here. Definitely put out this Tauros. Is there a world where we potion? I think we potion and Geo, because Geo maximizes the chances of knocking down this Articuno here. Although I have to be honest, Geo's mainly there for Tauros to have like more lethal lines. 60 in the front. Okay, so it worked perfectly. Yeah, okay, that was beautiful. That was GG. We knocked down the Articuno perfectly and we sniped the Magikarp. That's it. That was game. Alright, against Psychic. And we started Drotagon. We are going first, so if we draw into... This is a great counter to his card. If we draw into Dratini, okay, we have a really good chance here. We got 14 cards in deck. We have 2 Pokeballs, 2 Dratinis. Or, like... We also have a good chance not to see it, but... Okay. 50% chance that it's a come on Dratini. Not what we wanted to see, but realistically, we could still see Dratini next turn and still be on the right. Like, what's the word? Hold on, I blanked out completely on the word. I can't find it right now. On the right curve. Yeah, there you go. Since we need 4 energy on a 3, like, yeah, you can have Dragonite out turn 3, but you can't have it like able to fight back until turn 4. Okay, now we're officially behind. And I guess we just start building that up. He needs to start putting something on the back. I was so lost in like finding the word curve that I did not pay attention to whether this hit or not. Not settings, my bad. Battle log. He drew a card. Okay, so it did work. You have to assume he's gonna put something down eventually, right? You could also clearly see what we're on. Also, hasn't he? Oh, that's right. Spike Draw only does 10 damage. I'm like, why am I at 80? So he's clearly thinning out the deck a lot faster than we are. Okay, let's see if Mythical Slap hits. He really needs to find something to put on the bench, honestly. There you go. There's Mewtwo. There's 2 Mewtwo's. I don't think we care too much for that. What we care a lot about is the lack of Dratini. And we did pretty good at the start in like thinning out the deck, and we've had this since the beginning. Dragonair, Dragonite, but at least he's out both his potions. Not that it does much of, it doesn't help us in many ways, but yeah, he's got a third of his deck out. Okay, this is now 100% chance to beat Dratini. And we start playing the game of hope to see an electric type energy now. No need to play any of these cards. His Mewtwo doesn't threaten us until a turn from now, unless he sees Geo. Then he... Although, with Jotagon online, Jotagon puts him at 130, Tauros and Geo knocks out a Mewtwo. So, keep that in mind. We're actually in a really good spot here. This game is perfect to show like the strength of Jotagon and Tauros. Granted, he's playing a version of Mewtwo that I probably wouldn't play myself. I see that, like, I see why Sigilyph is good, but he also had to throw away 2 potions already to do so. So, you know, to each their own. And there's the electric energy coming up. Let's evolve here. Whoops, that would be hunting. Let's see, let's go research here. Draw 2 cards. We even have a potion if we wanted to, but we're actually rooting for him to knock out this Dragon with Mewtwo. I guess the downside is if he's playing red card, we explode. And he's seen his whole deck now. Is he gonna Geo or is he just gonna Gardevoir with Side Drive? Yeah, no. This game's as good as ours. It's gonna take a bit to get there. But since everything in our board only gives him 1 point, this Sigilyph is gonna be his downfall. And he doesn't have any energy built up on that backup Mewtwo, so... And thankfully we have an electric waiting for us. An electric energy waiting for us in the back. Yeah, we definitely Geo here. There's technically no need to evolve, so we won't. There you go, we got our 2 points. Now next turn he's unable to knock out Tauros. And then Dragonite just does his thing. That Mew EX can't be built up in time. Especially if he starts putting energy on the Mewtwo, right? He's got what, 7 cards in hand? I'm not even gonna go into Dragonite just yet. Reason being that if he keeps Gardevoir up, we win with the tail smack. Yeah, okay. So we're not gonna. We could definitely, for content, we're able to go Dragonite and see what happens. We're not doing that. I want to show that this deck could win and it's gonna win properly. And we just take our knockout. But again, this is like what I want to stress. Did Dragonite just win, or was it Jotagon Tauros? And this one was a lot clearer than the last game where I asked this question. Regardless, GG's, the deck did what it had to do.